Hi everyone, how are you today? It's Tracy here at Tracy Stitches on YouTube, Wow Princess on Instagram, and here I am for another Flosstube video. It's been a few weeks, maybe 3 or 4, I don't remember. But I have actually quite a bit of stitching that I've done since I last visited with you, so I thought I better get on and do a video and go from there. Nothing much new to report, quite honestly, in day-to-day life. Same old, working from home. I do become eligible for the vaccine at the end of this month, so I'm pretty excited about that. Maybe getting that done. Not that my life will change dramatically, but give me a barrier of safety there and feel a little bit better about that. So looking forward to that. We did get word that we'll be working from home at least until the fall, so no change there. And but daylight savings time has come, and I'm very excited about that. I prefer my light at the end of the day as opposed to the morning, so lighter longer, always good for me. And spring is here, so I live in the Pacific Northwest, so all that means is probably more rain, but lighter later is always good for me. It's good for my attitude and my feelings, or whatever you want to say. So anyway, hope you guys are all doing good. Hope you're still staying safe. Hope that you're able to get to the vaccine or soon. And yeah, so let's talk about some stitching stuff. So been a pretty productive few weeks for me, stitching wise, which is always a good thing. So let's talk about haul though first. We'll talk about haul. So I do have a little bit of haul, and I do also have an expo order that I put in, but I haven't received it yet. So talk about that next time. But I do have a wee bit of an expo order coming. But the first thing, I got a few threads, a few gas threads for a new start that I'm going to have later this year, or sooner rather than later. Melissa, SoCal Stitcher, and I, Stitcher Mel, she's Stitcher Mel on Instagram, sorry. We're going to start Sally Hansen. We were both able to acquire Sally Hansen last year, and so we're going to start that. So I'm waiting for 2 more threads. I've got 4, but gas are pretty difficult to come by right now. We were able to get all of them, but I'm still waiting for 2. So anyway, so we'll be starting that at some point, hopefully in the next month or 2. So we'll see. I also purchased some new fabric. If you guys will remember, I was going to start Snow Village after my last video, and I had that 20 count Petty Point Ada that I had purchased, and I put it in my Q-snaps, and I put some stitches into it, and then I promptly took it out of my Q-snaps, and I haven't thrown the fabric away. But it's horrible, and I struggled with it. I put probably 10 to 20 stitches into it and wasn't happy with it. The fabric itself is so stiff. It was in my Q-snaps for half an hour max, and that was 3 weeks ago, and the lines are still in the fabric. It's horrible. Besides the fact that I really thought 20 count I'd be able to get away with one strand of floss, but the 1 strand was not covering enough, and so I went back and started with 2 strands, even though it was 20 count, and that was just too much. So there was no middle ground there. Besides, I hated the fabric, and so I ended up going on to 1, 2, 3 stitch, and if I had realized this existed, I'm not sure why I didn't. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough. It's my fault, I'm sure. I would have bought this to begin with, but there is Lugana Petty Point fabric in 32 count. And I was so excited that I found it that I bought it in 2 colors, gray and blue. And I haven't decided which one I'm going to use because I need to floss toss. This is very similar to the French Country Rain color that the fabric is, the called for fabric. But this I had seen Kimberly at Fat Quarter had done it on the gray petty point, which is why I had bought it to begin with. So I ended up buying both because I like the fabric. So I figured, nah, no big deal. I'll use it for something. So we'll see. Maybe get a start at Snow Village this week. Maybe. I know my friend Sandy, who I'm selling with, she's already got the first chart done. She started in the upper left corner. She's already got chart number 1 done. So she's definitely ahead of me. So I need to probably not catch up with her, but I need to at least get a start on it so that I can work on it with her. And I believe this is the week that she does a slight rotation, a weekly rotation. And I believe this is the week, this coming week is the week that she works on Snow Village. So probably try and at least get a start on it this week. So anyway, and then one more purchase. This was somewhat impulsive. I don't know, maybe not. I've had these in my cart at Amazon for a while. And I had been watching them, and of course, you know how Amazon works. The price is up and down and blah, blah, blah. And I had looked at them a few weeks ago and saw that the price for these were pretty reasonable. It's 2 sets. And then I finally decided to pull the trigger. The month of March is bonus month for our company and our annual bonus. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to pull the trigger on this. I'm just going to buy them and get them here. Well, when I went to order, one set was gone, currently unavailable, and the other one had jumped in price by like $40. So I was like, So I started digging, and I went to the manufacturer's website, essentially, and they were having a sale, a 30% off sale if you spent over, I don't remember what it was, maybe $100. And so I was like, So I started putting everything in my cart, and it came up to what the price would have been if I had bought them from Amazon to begin with. So what I did was I went and bought all the sulkies. I don't know. It's an illness, people. And I didn't buy every single one because I had 2 thread sets, one for the more chocolate bunnies and another one, it was a Christmas set. I don't remember what for, but anyway, it was another 6 or 7 threads. So I bought all but those, 14, 15 threads. The only bummer about not buying them from Amazon and the sets and the 2 preset sets was that, of course, those come with the cases, and you can buy those cases empty for $25 or something like that on Amazon. I'd need 2 of them, but I actually have some of these that are empty because I do my DMC different now. I put them in an art bin case that's front and back, double-sided, and the sulkies you can fit 4 in a section. So I've got plenty of these. So for now, I am going to just put them in here. Maybe eventually I'll buy the empty thread bins or thread boxes that'll hold the sulkies. We'll see. We'll see how much I hate that. But anyway, so one of my finishes was more chocolate bunnies, which I'll show here in a minute. And I just was loving the sulky so much, and that's why I ended up deciding to pull the trigger. So I just have them all because why not? And I'm not huge on full set syndrome as far as threads go. I did that once upon a time with some threads that ended up going out of business, and I ended up doing like a thread of the month. This was probably 15 years ago, and I ended up with the whole set of silk. It was silk, and it's gorgeous fiber, don't get me wrong. But then she went out of business, fine. And now I have 1 skein of every thread, which is difficult to convert. And then you only have 1 skein. And I just had decided that I was never going to do full set syndrome again. So it's why I don't do thread of the months for any, I mean, I love the Gast, I love the color and cottons, I love the Weeks, I love all those fibers. And that's why I will always kit usually what is called for, even if it's the fancy floss, over DMC, because I love the way it looks, but I just don't have desire to have full sets of all those fibers because of dye lot issues and things like that. But the silkies, I don't know why those are different to me. I don't know. It's stupid, but I like them. And I think a lot of smalls that I'm going to do moving forward, I probably will convert to silky, do it on a higher thread, like a 36 count fabric, and then just use one strand of the silkies. So I love the silkies. It was so nice to work with. So those are my purchases for this time around. So I have to say, if for anybody curious about the silky ordering process, like I said, I ordered directly from them. I ordered like, it was like 150 spools. It was, you know, their total collection is what, 160, something like that. No, so it wasn't 150, it was probably 145, something like that. And I was surprised. They packed it and shipped it, and I had it in about a week from them. I was really surprised. I was surprised they were all on stock. And because I had heard some rumors that maybe people were having a hard time getting some silky packs and things like that, but they had all of them in stock. And like I said, I had it in less than a week. They were sent, it was sent priority mail for free because I had ordered over whatever the minimum requirement was. So anyway, I highly recommend ordering from them. If you've got to order just one or two, probably not worth it, I guess. But because I ordered a lot, it was worth it. So anyway, so those were my purchases. I'll have an expo order probably in my next video coming through. And my expo order wasn't horrible. I mean, a little over $100. So not a ton of stuff that is coming, but yeah, and mostly charts. I only purchased one kit, one fully kitted project. Everything else I bought, just charts. So anyway, so I did have 2 FFOs since the last video. The last video, I actually had November stitched, and so I FFO'd it. And this is the same way that I FFO'd all the other months. I got washers on the back. So it will go onto my little stand right there when November comes along. And I started, finished, and FFO'd December. So these are Lizzie Kate little bits. And I'm pretty glad to be done with these. So these were quick stitches though, usually just 2 nights each, and those were done. So anyway, so those are my 2 FFOs. I was hoping to have a third one, but the frame I bought is just a little bit too small, literally probably like a 1/4 inch all the way around. So I'm debating on, I mean, it would probably work, but I'm debating on just getting a new frame and moving on. So I didn't try to FFO that one yet, but anyway, next time. Okay, I did have some finishes though. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know, you've seen all of these, but the first one I finished was More Chocolate Bunnies. And I stitched this on 32 count Aspen, and I used the called for sulkies. And I'm pretty sure that Aspen fabric is called for as well, but love the way those turned out. Look at those little bunnies and their little button tails. Oh, so cute. But yeah, this was such a fun little stitch. It went very quickly, and gosh, I love it. I probably won't have this FFO'd for Easter just because I really don't know how I want to FFO it, but we'll think about it. Okay, so the next finish I have after that was a big one. And this one was no stitching. This was a total beading situation. I beaded the mermaid. So this is Mediterranean Mermaid by Mirabilia, and it's on 32 count shimmering pool. by Stephanie. So here, I'm going to stand up. So big beads right there, all throughout her hair. And then anyway, this took me probably 4 nights, maybe 5 nights of beading to get her done. But gosh darn it, she's gorgeous. Glad she's done. Glad the beading's done. I am going to have her framed, but I'm going to have her framed professionally. I'm not going to try to mess with her. So one of these days, once I'm fully vaccinated and ready to go back into stores, I'll take her to get fully finished at a framer. So anyway, so that was my big finish. That was lingering for a while because the stitching on her was done since August. I just needed to get around to getting the beading done. So my third finish was Pumpkin Farm by Shannon Christine. This was a sal that I did with Melissa, and we started it in the fall of 2019. She finished it about a year ago, and I struggled with this piece, not because I don't love it, because I do love it, and now that it's done, I'm thrilled. But Shannon Christine uses DMC, which is great. But she likes to have the variation in colors in her pieces, which is also great. It just means a ton of color changes, which for me is not great. I'm not patient with that. For me, I'd rather use a hand-dyed floss that gives you the variation in color that you're looking for, as opposed to a ton of color changes. That said, it's gorgeous. This is the chart that I finished. I started and finished essentially. So this is on 32 count applesauce by Color and Cotton. And this is called Pumpkin. The whole thing is called Pumpkin Farm by Shannon Christine, and you can find her on Etsy. So this one, I may do a pillow. I don't know. I haven't decided. So we'll see. So that was my third finish since the last time we talked. And last night at about 11:45, I had my fourth finish. And it is this one. Okay. So this is Hands On Designs. It's kind of washed out, unfortunately, because of the daylight probably. But this is Hands On Designs. Chalkboard ornaments. And this is the Be Merry one. And yeah, it wasn't a bad stitch. It took me all week, mostly because I was fighting the black fabric, and I frogged a couple of times, but yeah, it turned out really nice. So I will probably do this as a flat ornament, and like she did in her example. So, but we'll probably not. Maybe next time. Maybe I'll have an FFO next time. We'll see. So yeah, 4 finishes, 2 FFOs and 2 FFOs and 4 FOs for the last few weeks. Pretty good. So where does that leave me? That leaves me with 5 whips. I'm down to 5 whips, and one of which is Halloween Quaker, which I started this year with Michelle Bindi Stitches with her Halloween Zoom Sal. And there was actually the 3rd Halloween Zoom Sal was yesterday, but it was pretty late in the day. Yesterday it was 4 o'clock, which was not completely convenient timing for me. So unfortunately I did not attend yesterday, which means I haven't stitched on it since in about 3 weeks. So because right now I'm only stitching on that during the Zooms. So I may also start pulling that out on dark 13 stitching. I may start doing that on a monthly basis as well. So hit it at least twice a month depending on how many Zooms Bindi has. Bindi wants to do 1 or 2 a month, 1 for sure, sometimes 2. So because I missed yesterday, I don't know when the next one will be, but I would expect 2 or 3 weeks from yesterday. So Darktober stitching, is that what it's called? Anyway, I've never participated, obviously. So, but I will probably start participating on the 13th of every month and pull out the Halloween Quaker. I don't know that I'm going to get it done this year, but I need to at least work on it. So that's one of them. And then I have Treasure Hunt Bookshelf by Hade, obviously, which is not a gonna finish this year's situation, considering I'm only about on the 4th or 5th page of 40 something. But I haven't stitched on it in almost 2 years, and I really need to rectify that as well. So at some point in the next couple months, I'd like to pull that out. But that leaves 3 other whips. That leaves Knee High on the 4th of July, or Knee High, it's just Knee High, right? Knee High by Hands On Designs. And that was my January 1st, 2020 start. And I didn't get very far on it because I didn't stitch on it after that for the most part. And so I've got that one outstanding. I have Pretty Little London by Satsuma Street that is not quite half done, but probably at least a third done, if not more than a third. And I started that in June of 2019. And then my oldest whip to date is Magnolia Fairy by Nora Corbett. So those are my 5 outstanding whips. I started Magnolia it was my January 1st start in 2012, 9 years ago. And you're thinking, Tracy, you just finished a whole mermaid by Mirabilia. What is your problem on a frickin' fairy? Well, you're right, I did. And I love her. She's beautiful. I don't love the fabric. I love the idea of the fabric. I love the coloring of the fabric. It's a 32 count silk weaver solo, hand dyed. But the linen is very loosey-goosey. I'm not a big loosey-goosey fan on my fabric. I like to have it really tight, which it's very hard. But because I'm in finish mode on my whips, because I have some plans on what I want to do to start more, and I want to get some of these powered through, Magnolia is going to be the one I work on next. So I really think I can probably knock her out in a week or 2 if I just settle down and stitch on her. So there is beading on her, but nothing near like the mermaid. So I'm not concerned about the beading on her or anything like that. So my next one to knock out is going to be Magnolia. And then it'll come down to Pretty Little London and Knee High, because it's my goal to get those 3 done before I really start making any more starts other than Snow Village and maybe Sally Hansen. So those are the 2 that I may start before those 3 are done. But I really want to have those 3 done before my birthday, for sure. And my birthday's not until the end of June. So we're still, a little over 3 months away from my birthday. But I think I can easily have those 3 done by my birthday, and then have my whips somewhat under control. So before I start a ton more, because I know that I'm going to start Snow Village this week, like I said, and then Sally Hansen with Melissa, and then a 3rd one with Melissa. We fully kitted the same project for Expo, so we want to sell that one as well. So, and I have some other things I do want to. I still want to do the One Nation sal that I know people are still doing this year. I just haven't started it yet. It's a pretty big one. It's a pretty big one, and if I would just get on it and do 1 week, 1 state, 1 week, 1 star, 1 state a week, you could have it done in a year. But then I finally realized I don't have to start it on January 1st. I can start it whenever and do 1 star and 1 state a week and still have it done in a year. So it just won't be a calendar year, and that's fine too. So we'll see. Got a lot to do, but I do want to clean up these last 3 outstanding whips that have been lingering. There's no excuse for them to linger so that's my plan. Work on Magnolia. Maybe FFO a piece or 2 before I see you again. And then I'll have another order as well to talk about. So lots going on for sure. So anyway, that's all I got this week. I hope you all are doing well. And I'll see you next time. Bye.